Down under, Great Barrier Reef or coal mine. So it's about there's this issue in Australia, and they have discovered that there is a lot of coal right on the coast where the Great Barrier Reef is. And they decided, okay, we have this opportunity. We can either have a coal mine there and utilize that resource, or that's obviously going to harm the Great Barrier Reef, which is right off the coast, or they can just have a nice shiny Great Barrier Reef. So, the Prime Minister of Australia is Tony Abbott. I think that's how it's pronounced. He's all for the coal mining and that whole project, which is funded by this Indian guy named Gautam Adani, and he is like over a ton of production things as far as India and Australia go. They're just trying to make a deal. He funds it, Australia does the project. And how it gets back to India is the coal that Australia gets from this resource. They're exporting it to India to help power Indian cities and such. So, Tony Abbott's government is pushing for a coal mine that would allow Australia to grow in production, but it would potentially permanently damage the Great Barrier Reef, which is one of the great 7 wonders of the world. So that's a big deal. To support his project, he's making a lot of false claims, a lot of exaggerated claims towards the people so that it'll sound like a good idea. As far as the cost of the project and the benefits that they'll get from it. And the main concern is obviously that it's going to affect the environment, but he's just kind of shrugging that to the side, saying, you know what, climate change isn't a big issue, who cares about the Great Barrier Reef, we're going to get a ton of money from this. And the people are against him. They're totally against destroying the Great Barrier Reef. It's not a good idea. Australians take great pride in it. Okay, so the benefits of having this coal mine would be they get jobs from it. He says they get about 10,000 jobs from this whole project, but one of his own experts, Dr. Fowler, of this association, that he estimates it's only just over 1,000 jobs, so it's really exaggerated. It's also a profitable investment. He claims it's about $20 billion investment, but an economic expert estimates it's only $16 billion. And the benefit, other than Australia, like I said, it would provide power for 100 million Indians for about 50 years. So that's a big deal, except India is deciding, you know what, within the next 2 years we are going to totally cut off all thermal imports. Just period, with Australia anyone. So if Australia, with this huge project funded by this Indian guy, if they do this and they say, okay, we're ready to export all this coal that we're getting at the cost of destroying our Great Barrier Reef, and India all of a sudden says, you know what, we don't want your coal anymore. That's going to be a bad thing. Not a whole lot of people are going to be happy. So yeah, it's the cost and the risk. It's going to damage the environment. It's the Great Barrier Reef. It's a big deal. The dredging that's going on the coast, they're just kind of dumping all that off coast, right where the Great Barrier Reef is. That's going to destroy a lot of wildlife and marine life. And not just the dredging waste, but the traffic from the coal ships going back and forth on the coast. I mean, there's whales. There was this one article that I found just in the past week. One of the whales, just one boat, just boom, took it right out. There's just this dead whale on the bottom of the boat. And especially when the whales are, they have seasons and they migrate and stuff, especially when they come through that area and the traffic is increasing, they're just going to keep running right over. Kind of like how we had a manatee issue going on in the United States. And not only would it harm the environment, but it's also going to upset the people because it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. this is one of the visual that I just found. Just kind of, it's important because it shows exactly what the coast of Australia looks like with the Great Barrier Reef right here in the darker blue. And you have huge ports on the sides here, some mini ones there, some mining going on here. And this is just the traffic of the boats just going right over the Great Barrier Reef, and it's just kind of just dumping it all the dredging stuff there. 944 million tons of coal estimated by 2020. That's enough to take a coal train, fill it up, wrap it around the world 4.5 times. It's a lot. So yeah, that's how much they would benefit from this. So obviously there is a benefit. It's not just all about destroying the environment. And global impact, it doesn't just affect Australia. I saw it as more of an example for the rest of the world, because it's inevitable that other parts of the world are going to have a problem like this. Any other type of political conflict where the people are going to test their morals of whether to protect the environment. Obviously, in this case, it was in an extreme. It's one of the 7 great wonders of the world, it's the Great Barrier Reef. But there's obviously going to be, in other parts of the world, maybe smaller conflicts as far as, okay, take this resource, destroy the environment, or keep the environment. We don't get the resource until you can find a better way to get resources there. And my sources that I used, I just pulled up a ton of articles. Some of them were from merely informational stuff, just to be unbiased. But I did want to look at the biased articles from both sides, just to see what people are thinking, what the people are saying, and what the government's saying, and just both sides of the situation. That's it.
Thank you.